Hi y'all, welcome today. I'm here with Alina Hinojosa, and then my name is Michelle Linson. And then Alina, just to get started, do you want to go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Alina Hinojosa, and right now I currently live in San Antonio, but before I'm from Brownsville, from the border, 9.6, right? And I'm an artist, and I mainly work with painting as well as fabrics.
Awesome. And then you mentioned you're from Brownsville.
Mm-hmm.
And then how does the way that you grew up kind of near the border, does that influence you at all?
I think so a lot, mainly because the culture very different. You know, everybody's basically Mexican, and I relate to everybody, and everybody looks like me. Coming here is very like, I guess, culture shock. You know, like obviously like there's still like a lot of big Mexican population, but yeah, it was just like wow, everybody's like a lot different, right? And then yeah, basically like growing up in the border, like my family was very religious, conservative. I grew up with a lot of shame just being a woman and even presenting myself to the world. So through my art, I like to basically explore that and go down that train of deconstructing what I experienced as a child.
So would you say your use of the body is also like a form of gender expression?
Yeah. I feel like if anything empowering, because I felt like a lot of the time like I had to be completely like covered, you know. I felt shameful even being like alive, I guess, essentially. So reclaiming like my body and its autonomy and like that it means something, and that it has power, you know, simply being naked is powerful in today's world.
Was it hard confronting that nakedness when you were first getting into self-portraiture and painting this way?
Yes, because I'm a very like timid, you know, like I'm very shy as a person, and like I've always done like self-portraiture really. I mainly in high school that's when I started, and I don't know, it hasn't really changed since. But yeah, just like trying to get out of that shell and like how can I be more raw and intimate with the viewer, and like I may not know you, but you've seen parts of me that like you would never, you know. But yeah.
Awesome. One of my favorite paintings of yours is this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
You said that was, can you remind me the name again?
Immolation.
Immolation. Can you tell me a little bit more of what's happening in the painting?
So I feel like a lot of with like religion, at least in my sense, was giving up what it means to be yourself and sacrificing yourself for a greater. And I felt very tainted, and like I felt like I needed to essentially die and be sacrificed for greater, as in the sheeps are essentially like being birthed from my body and they're coming out, and because my sacrifice would mean a greater thing at the end for God.
Yeah. And then something else I noticed with this piece was also the thing that's kind of piercing your chest.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of like the top part of a Sacred Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, I like to do a lot of religious iconography. You know, any lamb, any Sacred Heart. You know, that's up my alley. Yeah.
So what else are you motivated by? Like what kind of drives you to paint versus like sculpture? I noticed like sculpture is kind of maybe new for you right now with your little. Do you have a name for the little guy?
No, he's just like living there right now. But I don't know. I think I like painting just because, like, that's such a hard question, you know. But I think it's just color. Like I love visualizing, and I love like how fluid you can be, the fluidity of it essentially. Because I feel like it's the most raw way also to represent a body. Like I can't almost really control everything that's happening, and I can't almost really control like how I look or how I represent certain things on my body. Yeah.
And then with your use of color, like in some of these pieces like this one right here, Bitches, you use a lot of like pink tones, and I've seen some of your other paintings you've used like pink tones. Is that like kind of another form of expression to be like brighter?
Yeah, I guess like seeing the world and everything, like I don't know, I'm very like what is it? Like inspired by nature as well. Just like there's so many like hot points of color and like plants and like just life, you know. I feel like I don't know, it's best represented for me at least, like warmth essentially through like the exploitation of color and like necklaces and stuff.
Also with that, I know we were looking at some artists earlier. Can you tell me a little bit about how you're inspired by other artists, like Nikki Haas?
Yeah. So I really like how she herself also reclaimed her body and using her body. You know, she uses her queer identity as well to express like her experience, and I'm also like expressing stuff with my body as well as the colors. I've been really inspired by like those. She uses a lot of those really hot colors and like intense, and it's just something that I've been inspired by her. Yeah.
Awesome. And then also, can you tell me a little bit about how you're inspired by Rigoberto and Gonzalez?
So essentially, a lot of what he does is he takes these like old, like really popular, like let's say the Pieta, right, where Jesus is laying down in Mary's arms, and he basically uses that like iconic posing and contextualizes into a modern sense, where he's also from the Valley and he uses like he essentially paints immigrants in these poses, and it's very like touching because Catholicism is so integrated with like Mexican American culture. Yeah.
What has your transformation in your art been from before college to after?
Oh, like crazy.
Yeah.
Like I think about like when I first entered like my degree, and I'm like, wow, I was brave. Because a lot of the stuff I'm like, what was I doing? Right? Because I don't know. I feel like with college, I feel like a lot of it has been more like changing the way I think and putting that forward. Things have meaning. Like everything you do has meaning, and just because I came in and I knew I always wanted to do self-portrait. That's what I've always been into. But my themes were just like, I'm going to make this because it's pretty, or like I think I would like it, right? But now I think about like these topics and themes that like mean something to me, and how can I exploit that and basically reinvent those situations that I've been through, or ideas that I'm just interested in general. Yeah. If anything, I'm a thinker now.
I mean, I can definitely see that, like, especially in these pieces here.
Yeah.
They feel very, like, intentional. So, awesome. I think that's good for questions today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sitting down with me.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Bye-bye.